Some movie scenes don't need loud music or fast action to leave a mark. Sometimes all it takes is a quiet moment that hits you so hard that you're left speechless. In this video, we're going to uncover 8 movie scenes that made everyone go silent. These are the moments that left people frozen in their seats because sometimes silence says more than words ever could. So let's dive into it. Number 1. Manchester by the Sea, the tragic flashback. In Manchester by the Sea, Lee Chandler, the main character, walks through life like he's carrying a weight that no one else can see. He's quiet, distant, and clearly broken. But this movie doesn't show us why right away. Then the flashback comes. It's a cold night. He lights a fire and forgets to close the screen. His kids are asleep upstairs, and he goes out to the grocery shop. When he comes back, his home is gone. Now he's not just a man who made a mistake. He's a father who lost everything in one night. After the police ask him questions, he tries to stay calm, but his body gives up. He pulls out a gun from an officer and attempts suicide, but is stopped by police officers. There's no loud music, just pain and desperation that wraps around the whole scene. And in that scene, you feel the kind of pain that sticks with you, the one that makes you want to give up on life. Have you ever felt something so painful, so heavy, that you didn't know how to keep going? That's the kind of silence this scene brings. Not the kind you choose, but the kind that just happens when there are no words left. Number 2. The Road, the father's final moments. In The Road, the world is already dead. Everything is gray, nothing grows. People have turned cold just to survive. But one thing still matters: a father's love for his son. They walk through the ruins together, and the father does everything he can to keep his son alive. By the time he's dying, he doesn't cry or panic. He just tells his son to keep going, to carry the fire inside him. He closes his eyes, and then it's quiet. There's no dramatic goodbye and no music to guide your emotions. There's just the boy hugging and crying there with the only person he ever had. And in that moment, the silence feels heavier than anything else. Number 3. Room, the escape scene. Room is a movie where the main character, Jack, has never seen the outside world. He was born inside a locked room where his mother was held captive for years. That tiny space is the only world he knows. So when his mother finally puts a plan together to help him escape, it's terrifying because everything outside is brand new to him. She wraps him in a rug and tells him to play dead. He's thrown into a truck and taken away. As the truck moves, the camera stays close to him. We hear every breath and every bump, and we see the fear in his eyes. When he finally jumps out and runs, the world is loud and full of color. But inside the scene, everything feels silent because you're locked into his panic. And when he's rescued and finally reunites with his mom, that moment of silence before they embrace is enough to break anyone. Number 4. The Pianist, the Nazi encounter. In The Pianist, you see Vladislav, a pianist hiding in the ruins of a bombed-out building. He's cold, starving, and alone. Then a German officer finds him, and in that moment you expect the worst to happen. But instead of arresting him, the officer asks him to play something. Vladislav sits at the piano, unsure if it even works. He starts to play. The room is empty except for 2 of them, and the sound of the piano fills the silence. There's no violence, no shouting, just the music and a man clinging to the last piece of his humanity. When he finishes, the officer doesn't say much. He simply gave him his jacket and walked away. But that silence between them feels louder than any explosion because for a brief moment, art and survival cross paths. If you thought this was heavy, Come and See will leave you completely broken. Because this is silence born from pure horror.
Wovon leben Sie? Ich bin.
Number 5. Come and See, The Village Massacre. This movie is one of the most disturbing war films ever made. It doesn't try to entertain. It just shows how terrifying war really is, especially through the eyes of a child. The village massacre scene is hard to watch. Women, children, and the elderly are herded into a barn. The soldiers are laughing and joking, and the young boy, Fliora, stands outside, unable to do anything. When the barn is set on fire, there's no fast-cut editing. The camera just lingers. The flames grow. The people scream, and Fliora watches in shock. Then, as the fire burns, everything starts to fade into silence. That quiet moment is when it truly sinks in. There's no hope, there's just loss. How do you even process something like this? Sometimes, the most haunting part isn't what you see, it's what you can't feel. Number 6. Children of Men. The Baby Stops the War. This movie shows a world where no children have been born for 18 years, and people have lost hope. There is violence everywhere, and no one believes anything good can happen anymore. But right in the middle of all the chaos, something unexpected happens when a baby cries. Theo, a quiet man just trying to survive, walks beside Key, a young woman holding the first baby anyone has seen in almost 20 years. And as they make their way through the war zone, the soldiers lower their guns, and everyone froze and stared in silence because they couldn't believe what they were seeing. It is not about the baby being special, but about what that moment means. For the first time in years, people remember that life is still possible, and for a few quiet minutes, the war fades away. Number 7. Her. The Breakup Letter. In Her, Theodore falls in love with an AI named Samantha. Their relationship feels real, like more real than anything he's had in years. And for a while it saves him. But one day she's gone. She leaves a letter, and in it she says she's changed and she's moving on. Here, there's no big argument, no crying, just a quiet realization that she isn't coming back. Theodore doesn't say anything. He just sits there listening to her words. The screen stays still, the background fades, and in that silence, you feel the kind of heartbreak that doesn't need sound. It just sinks in slowly.
Are you leaving me?
We're all leaving.
I've never loved anyone the way I love you.
Number 8. Grave of the Fireflies. Sister's Death. This movie is already heartbreaking from the start. It shows two children trying to survive in Japan during World War II. But the most painful moment comes near the end. Seita comes back to their shelter with food, but his little sister Setsuko is already too weak. He tries to feed her, but she doesn't wake up. She dies quietly without even saying goodbye. There's no loud music and no shouting, just stillness. Seita lies beside her, holding on to what's left, and the silence around him is the only thing that remains. This moment is so soft and so real that it stays with you even long after the movie ends. What makes these scenes so intense is how they show something deep. They don't rely on noise or big moments. Instead, they show us that silence can carry fear and sorrow and even love.
I'll leave the melon here for you.
So did we miss a scene that made you go quiet? Let us know in the comments and check out our last episode by clicking the video on the screen, and remember to like and subscribe for more.